Hey, what's going on, Hoops fans? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, be sure to subscribe and also hit the thumbs up on this video. Alright, so I thought I would do a quick recap of the 2024 ACC basketball men's tournament. Who would have thunk it, guys? Who would have thought that a team that started their tournament on Tuesday, going all the way and winning the ACC championship, NC State did just that. Winning 5 games in 5 days and clinching an automatic berth into the NCAA tournament. Nobody saw this coming, okay? And nobody saw it coming, guys. So let's do a quick recap of this tournament. We'll go game by game. So we'll start with on Tuesday, Notre Dame versus Georgia Tech in the first game. Notre Dame had a pretty big lead, then Georgia Tech fought back. Got made the game very close, and so but Notre Dame was able to hang on and win that game. And then the Cinderella story of the tournament, NC State versus Louisville. One thing I think that people tend to overlook is the fact that Louisville was actually leading this game at halftime by 1 point. They gave NC State a fit in this game, but they were able to pull away. NC State was able to find their rhythm and pull away and win that game. And then Boston College, they dismantled Miami. So that takes care of the first round. Moving on to the second round in the 8-9 game with Virginia Tech and Florida State. This game was neck and neck as well, but Virginia Tech, their defense did not hold up, and Florida State was able to defeat the Hokies. And then Notre Dame and Wake Forest. Notre Dame had no chance in this game. Wake Forest, they were fighting for their tournament lives here, and so they took care of business versus Notre Dame. And then NC State took care of business versus Syracuse. And, Syracuse, I thought was a team that could possibly make a deep run here, but that did not happen. And then Boston College against Clemson. Quentin Post for Boston College. I mean, what a player he is. And Boston College, they blew Clemson out. Clemson had no chance in this game. And so they advanced to the quarters on Thursday. And recapping the quarterfinals, Carolina, they blew out Florida State. Pittsburgh beat Wake Forest. This was basically an elimination game as far as who gets in and who doesn't get into the tournament. And then, but Pitt took care of business versus Wake Forest. Duke versus NC State, again, the Cinderella team of the tournament. They were able to pull away in that game versus the Blue Devils. And then Virginia versus Boston College. As a Virginia fan, which, I mean, I done a video on this yesterday morning, and you guys check that out, explaining, my frustrations as a Virginia fan. The guy I forget his name for Boston College, hit that shot at the buzzer to tie it and send it to overtime. The guy just basically threw it up, and but Virginia thankfully was able to pull away in overtime to advance to the semifinals on Friday. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case in the next game for the Hoos. And Virginia, they're a team that needs to They basically at least had to go to the championship game to make it to the NCAA tournament, but more on that later. We'll start first with NC State versus Virginia. As I said in my video yesterday, Virginia had that game won. They were up by 5 with about a minute or so to go, and all they had to do was hit their free throws. They had to hit their free throws. Reese Beekman missing 2 of the technical free throws. Isaac McNeely missing the front end of a 1-and-1, which led to another circus shot 3-pointer to be put up at the buzzer to send the game to overtime. But unfortunately for Virginia, lightning did not strike twice in overtime. NC State was able to pull away and win that game. And then, Pitt gave North Carolina a very hard time starting out, but Carolina was able to pull away late, ending what little tournament hopes that Pitt had. Pitt basically had to win the ACC tournament to get in. And then, a Tobacco Road rivalry showdown for the ACC championship, which took place last night. North Carolina versus NC State. And NC State, for the first time since 1987, has won the ACC tournament. And, I said when I did my prediction that there was a lot of rumblings about the future for Kevin Keats in his time in Raleigh. You know, it wouldn't have shocked me if he was dismissed at the end of the season, but that's definitely not the case now. DJ Burns, the tournament most valuable player. What a show he put on. He gave his opponents fits down in the post. And so, what a job by NC State. They're only the second team to win a conference tournament by winning 5 games in 5 days. The only other team to do that was UConn back in 2011 when they won 5 games in the Big East tournament. And oddly enough, they actually went on to win the national championship that year. So maybe that's an omen for NC State. Maybe not. But nonetheless, what a job by them. And fatigue, usually by that third game, fatigue starts to, become a factor. But that clearly was not the case for NC State. But what a job by them. Congratulations, NC State. They clearly they played their hearts out, and they are deserving of this championship and tournament bid. And speaking of the tournament, let's do a little bit of bracketology here. So as far as teams that will be in the NCAA tournament, we know for sure North Carolina will be in the tournament. Duke will be in. Clemson will be in. Obviously, NC State will be in because of the automatic qualifier. Wake Forest and Pitt, they had an outside shot, but they needed to have a very strong performance in the ACC tournament, basically having to win the whole thing pretty much. But they're pretty much out. And then the team that has to be the most nervous right now is Virginia, because like I said in my video yesterday, Virginia, according to the so-called, bracketologists, Virginia was right there either in the last 4 in or the first 4 out. And I said yesterday that if NC State were to win this tournament, that could be a bid stealer for a team that's trying to get into the tournament. So that very well, and Virginia could very well be that bubble team that gets knocked out as a result of NC State getting into the tournament. So we'll see what happens. There's a couple. I know there's several more championship conference games today, so we'll see how things turn out. But I want to hear your thoughts on this tournament, guys, as a whole. Leave your thoughts down below in the comments section, guys, and thank you all so much for watching. I will catch you guys next time.